Okay, this is the Cub Cadet. I will post the model in the title. Can't think of it offhand, but the engine swap is done. I'm about to take this on its maiden voyage. Overall, this was actually quite easy to do. The biggest issues I had was with the flywheel, having to tap the two holes, make them a little bit larger so it would fit the drive shaft adapter. Other than that, this one is very straightforward. The wiring was easy. This is the main charging wire from the harness. These two yellows are the kill from the harness. This one is the starting wire to signal the solenoid. I decided to mount the starter solenoid right here again. This is where it was originally on this engine, because this machine originally had a starter solenoid combination. And there's one other wire, this green one that's going across the front, that's coming back into the harness right here. This is the oil sensor. And there's one wire I did not use. That might need a little bit more attention at a later date. This blue wire right here was not used. This is actually a switched ground feed for the electric PTO. The way they had this wired, they had the hot from the PTO coming off the main harness, and then they were switching the ground. So this one is not getting the PTO back on it, so this wire can just be left here. It's a switch source. If I do want to add a PTO in the future, I have it. The drive shaft was a little bit hairy, to say the least. Really, the engine should have went back by about a half an inch, but I did have enough room in the actual drive shaft where it actually made up the difference. If you can see down in there, right now the drive shaft is all the way back, so there is a bit of play in there, but it should be okay. There's more than enough space in there. The Kohler was tight. This one here is a little bit loose, so it should be okay. I don't really see it being too much of an issue. I'm hoping, at least. Also, the little bushings, I put them all the good side out, so that should take up that little bit of space in there as well. So for the fuel situation, I will be running the rear tank eventually, but for now I'll run this tank right here. I'll be ordering a low pressure electric 12-volt fuel pump, and I will be mounting on the firewall, and that will take care of the fuel. And then this tank up here will just be abandoned, sort of thing. I will not be using it. But other than that, I can actually fire it up for you. It will start. There is no exhaust. Starts right up. Only other downside is the throttle is backwards. All the way up is low, all the way down is high. It's just the orientation of this engine, and unfortunately the cable's not long enough to reroute it around the other side of the engine. I've already tried, so that's not a huge deal. So just gotta remember, up is slow, down is fast. Also, the oil filter will probably get changed eventually with the adapter once I figure out what I'm doing for the exhaust. If I can find an exhaust similar to what this machine right here has, I'll probably do that, and I might end up doing an oil cooler on here as well. It does help extend the life of these engines, and it's just cheap insurance as well. So that's where we're at on this. The Kohler will be gotten rid of, probably going up for sale at some point, and this engine will be staying in here for good. So don't really want to put another Kohler back in here, so this one should be good to go. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please rank comment.